All right. We are back for Roundtable Dolphins, episode number 21. I am once again joined by Buddy and Billy. We're going to be talking all about the schedule release for the Dolphins and why the NFL seems to hate Miami. This is how I feel. I'm going to feel like this forever and ever because they just hate the Dolphins. I don't know what's going on, man. Like, I was breaking this thing down, looking at it, and I'm like, oh my God, why? So let's start off with what we already know, what we've already written about, what's known. They have the second toughest schedule in the league. This is always the case for the Dolphins. I do not understand why, but every single year they're always in the top 10 of the toughest schedule. And I mean, maybe, because they've been kind of a playoff team-ish, you know what I mean? Like in recent years, maybe that's why. I don't know, whatever. But, like, man.
I think the AFC East is its own beast on its own.
Yeah.
And then when you add everything else around it, yeah.
So I'll just start with the obvious thing here. Clearly, the NFL has no faith that the Dolphins are going to be competitive whatsoever because they have 0 primetime games in 2026.
So, like, no one wants to see that.
No. Yeah, look.
Just keep that in 305.
Look, all right, I'll say maybe they're upset because last season I think the Dolphins had 5 or 6, and they were not a great team. So maybe that's why they feel burned. They're like, okay, so we thought the Dolphins were going to come out swinging. They didn't. We don't want to put them on the main stage. But to not give them any primetime games is a little mean, in my opinion. I'll say this simply because it's a new regime change and it's Malik Willis. So I would have thought that the NFL was at least going to give them one to kind of see. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of whatever, Malik Willis is still going to be an exciting prospect to watch. We don't know if he's going to be really good or he's not going to be good. We don't know. And this is the first time he's going to be given the chance to be a full-fledged starter in the NFL. So I would have thought they would at least give him one look, especially with new head coach Jeff Hafley. There's a lot of new elements. And, obviously that's a reason why they didn't give them primetime games and why a lot of people don't believe in them and why they continue to get mocked to the number 1 overall spot. I get it. But I don't know. I also have the feeling they're going to be a lot more competitive than people give them credit for. We'll see. Again, this is just my belief. Not a lot of people share this belief, but yeah, no primetime games. Kind of messed up.
Yeah, I think at least one, just out of the goodness of your heart, is enough to... I'm having a look over here, and I think at least one divisional game would have been nice to have. Like, that makes sense. If you don't want to do it later in the season, fine. Like, and you want to pick one of these early ones, I don't know. I think Joe Burrow, always great to have on prime time. Like, you could go against Cincinnati, put that one on prime time. I don't know who's actually playing that week, though. I'm sure that the games that are on are actually more exciting than what they've got going on here. Just realized that bye week not to get.
Yeah,
not to get.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, again, what I was bringing up in the other pod, and we will bring it up momentarily. Yeah.
No, it's tough. Rough out here. Come on, just a little pity prime time.
No, this is insane.
But against the Jets, come on, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, okay. Look, I'll say this real quick before you jump in, buddy. That the Week 18 game against the Patriots could get flexed into a primetime game.
I was just about to say that.
There's an opportunity they can get flexed into a primetime slot. Sure. We know this, but right now it just sucks.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I was like, a Week 18 is a flex game. Hey, who knows? Who knows, right? But right now, Miami's tied with the Raiders, the Tennessee Titans, Arizona Cardinals, and the New York Jets for 0 primetime games. And 2 teams have won. That's the New Orleans Saints and the Cleveland Browns. That's just like insane right there. I mean, who wouldn't want to see, at least like the name, right? Like Miami doesn't have a primetime game, and New Orleans and Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns do. That's pretty insane.
Have some respect for Todd Monken, please.
I mean,
you're right. You're right.
Again, we're not a Jets podcast either. But I also thought that was very strange that they didn't get one either, because I mean, usually they're just a team that and Aaron Glenn and like this whole rebuild of theirs too. Again, it just, I don't know. It could have been the Jets and Dolphins. I know people don't want to see that, whatever, but allow those teams to see whatever. Go on.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, but just. Yeah, man, I'm seeing it right now. Week 6 bye. After that, crazy from late October all the way through January, and then just starting off the season pretty tough. Raiders don't really know what they're going to be. Obviously, rookie quarterback Fernando Mendoza, a lot of hype Is he going to be it? Is he not? Who knows, right? And then just the Niners, Chiefs, Vikings, right? I mean, even they went with other like quarterback stuff with JJ McCarthy and whatnot. Still went 9-8. Just insane. And then I think we all would assume Joe Burrow's going to be healthy, right? So and then you have the Bengals, and then you have the bye. I mean, it's a juggernaut for the Dolphins, and yeah, man, it's just going to be really tough. But hey, like you said, you don't know how Malik Willis is going to pan out. You don't know how this offense is going to pan out, how the team's going to pan out. So
no idea.
Yeah, but just right now, just looking at it, right, it's really, really tough right now.
Yeah, are they being given a fair shot?
No, no, of course not. Again, this is common. Like, I'm not upset about the strength of schedule. It's commonplace for the Dolphins always to have a top 10 harder schedule. And I think you're right, because I think it's because they exist in the AFC East. So you have the Buffalo Bills, who are consistently good, and now the Patriots, who are on their way up again, good. Yeah, again, good. So you already have the drawback of that, having to play both of those teams twice, so that's already going to impact your strength of schedule no matter what. But they always end up having these types of schedules. But the thing we'll get right into it. The thing that sucks even more is a week 6 bye. What? Like, what? Why? That's crazy.
Like, just straight up already. Like, here are all the teams you have to play, and then by the way, that's basically going to have to play them on the trot for 11, 12 weeks.
12 straight games after that. 12. And among them, the Patriots, the Lions, the Colts, the Bills, the Broncos, the Bears, the Packers, the Chargers, Buffalo again, and then you end the season with New England.
Goodness gracious.
It's again, this one, does the NFL hate the Dolphins? Like, what happened here?
And you got to play the NFC North and the AFC West.
Yeah, oh, man.
Wow, week 13 through 18 is insane, and then week 11 through 18 is insane too. Minus week 12.
All playoff games.
That's crazy.
All playoff games. Your last 6 opponents, playoff teams. Your last 6 opponents. Again, like you were bringing up in our other pod, I think I'll point to this. I think this has to do with the whole Vegas things and whatnot. I think they already know what the schedule is going to be ahead of time, and that's how they do the win totals, yada, yada, yada. Because it's like, you look at this, and obviously this schedule, the way that it's orchestrated, the way that they have their week 6 bye and everything, you can't expect that the Dolphins are going to pull out more than 4 wins. You can't, because it's like you're in a rebuild phase, da 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 da. But obviously, again, we don't know. We don't know what Jeff Hafley is going to be as a leader. We don't know what Malik Willis is going to be as a franchise option. We don't know anything about the Dolphins right now. In my opinion, I think they drafted really well. I think they got some really great pieces of the puzzle there. But again, these guys are going to be rookies in the NFL. You don't know who's going to emerge as a solid starter and playmaker. So there's too many unknowns right now, which obviously, again, that leads into the whole narrative that they're not going to be a competitive team. And I get it. But man, they just I think the NFL just really poured it on with the schedule, completely poured it on them.
Yeah, they were like, it's okay, you don't have to do it's fine. We know you've actually been given a grade. It's fine. You just do. We'll see what you're made of with this. I'm having a look down here, and I'm kind of trying to weigh up, or at least find something positive in it. But there aren't too many defense heavy teams, I guess. There's a lot more flashy offenses than there are defenses among here, which, as we've said throughout the weeks, we think the offense are going to be the star of the show this year, or at least I think that they've been preparing to build up the offense and this run game. Maybe that could be on your side, but you've got San Fran in there, you've got Green Bay, you've got Chicago. Mm-hmm. Those are teams that could kind of, I think, go up against that. But I'm trying to pull one positive thing for you guys. Okay, I'm trying to give you one positive.
Let me break it down a little bit more granular to start the season. I'll say this. I have a feeling they could be 2-3 going into the bye week. And then they play the Jets, so they could be 3-3 before they start facing all those other opponents. So not terrible. And if you think about it that way, if they really are 3-3 going into that Patriots game in week 8, they could probably scratch out a few more wins, maybe. They have the Jets again. Maybe.
Let's assume they're 0-8 by that point.
Yeah, no, really though. They have the Jets again. They have the Chargers, who are, they have a good defense, but yeah, it's going to be tough. I'll say this, but statistically, if they are 3-3 going into that Patriots game in week 8, they could probably maybe go up to 6-win team potentially. Potentially. Well, I'll say this. Going back to what you were saying, the offense, they're building around the offense, and I did want to bring this up. We'll just bring it up right now. Obviously, they kept talking about for weeks and months about how Devon Achane is a integral part of the team, a building block, a pillar, as John Eric Sullivan said. They gave him a fat extension. He's now the third highest paid running back in the league for obvious reasons, and that just goes to show already, they're going to be a run heavy team. We know this. They have to be. They don't. The wide receiver room is a big old fat question mark right now. And so that being said, looking at the schedule, which teams here from 2025 have a good run defense? Because the Dolphins are going to be doing a lot of running. Devon
I'm
Achane,
literally just looking at that right now.
You got Devon Achane. You brought in Caden Proctor to be your oversized guard. You're messing with the offensive line to make sure that it's going to be a run heavy option offensive line. And you got Malik Willis, who's a mobile quarterback. They haven't had a mobile quarterback because Tua Tagovailoa, again, no disrespect, was not. He was mobile in the beginning, but he took too many shots and he became a pocket passer for the most part. So that being said, which of all these teams defensively are really good run defensive teams? And if they're not, those are the teams that they could potentially have a better shot at winning against, obviously.
Yeah, I'm kind of
well, I mean, definitely not the Broncos. They were number 2. They were number 2 last year.
The Raiders,
Patriots, obviously number 6. Raiders. The
Raiders, the Chiefs,
Jets.
Niners.
Yeah. Wait, were the Niners bad against the run? I thought they were good against the run.
Sorry.
No, sorry. I thought you were going good.
No, I'm going opposite. Looking at the schedule, who's not a good run defense team? So you got.
Well, you say that, but the Chiefs only allowed 1797 rush yards last year.
Yeah, so that's good. Never mind. So to start, we got the Raiders. Probably not. Vikings. I'm not sure that they were.
Vikings were ranked 21st in that category.
And then the Bengals, and then you got the Jets. So
I mean, Bengals were actually last, so that's to their benefit, right? Bills surprisingly, they allowed a lot of rushing yards last year.
Yep, loads.
Yeah, that's quite surprising right there.
Yeah. Let me look real
quick.
Yeah,
no, James, like you said, all right. I mean, obviously they paid Achane. They told us all this time that he was a foundational piece, and they made it be known. And I mean, for good reason, right? He's still very, very young. Excuse me, barely entering his 4th year in the league. If he lasts his contract with the Dolphins, that he's going to be with the Dolphins for the majority of his career, right? So I mean, why not pay him? He's clearly shown that he's could be a superstar in this league and one of the best backs in the league. Clearly one of the fastest in the league. He takes good care of the ball when he has the ball through the air or on the ground. He's shown to be very explosive and just a menace with it, right? So clearly they're gonna rely on him, and even more so with the shaky pass catchers that they have on the team.
Yeah. And Bengals were the worst. Jets, Bills, Bears.
Bears.
Yeah,
Bears.
So those are some opponents that could be potentially the ones that the Dolphins could scrape out a win against.
Vikings,
the Vikings. 21. Yep, the Vikings.
The Vikings are there too.
It's rough though, because then you got the Patriots, who were number 6.
Yeah.
You got the Broncos, number 2.
And the Chargers and the Chiefs. Those are all top 10 teams against the run. So
49ers,
you got a mixed bag here, but I mean, I don't know. Again, we don't know. We don't know if the Dolphins are going to be competitive or going to be more competitive than everyone thinks they are. We don't know much of anything. It just the schedule is kind of really rough for them.
That's tough. It's it's really tough. Like I said, we don't know what the Raiders are going to be with the situation and whatnot. And then, man, I just feel like weeks 11 through 18, outside of week 12, it's just tough. Let's say that they are competitive and they're hey, maybe they could squeak out a couple wins or whatnot. I just feel like with them being young, a lot of uncertainty. I just feel like week 11 through 18 is just going to kick their butt, man. I just feel like,
looking at it right now, I'd say confidently they can win one of those.
Yeah,
and maybe a couple others, because you never know with the divisional opponents.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a possibility that can kind of fall apart. So But if you look at it like, and you're just looking at it as someone who kind of knows that like they can win against the Jets, the rest of them you would assume that they're going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, and then also too, you got to look at the road games too, because they're on the road against the Colts, they're on the road against Buffalo, on the road against Denver, on the road against the Packers, and on the road against New England. So I do want to jump into that Packers game actually. So again, this could have been an opportunity for a total primetime game because Malik Willis revenge game. Why not?
Yeah, and Jeff Hafley showing off against
and Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan and pretty much the entire
Green Bay South
organization that is now known as. Yeah, but I like that. I like this game more so because it's going to operate twofold for the Dolphins. One, it's going to be that revenge game for Malik Willis. Two, it's going to really test that narrative that if the Dolphins can be a team that performs in cold weather, that has been their Achilles heel for multiple years. But now you have a quarterback who cut his teeth in cold weather, which is Malik Willis. So that can no longer be an excuse, right? If he should be the guy that can perform, and obviously Tua Tagovailoa was not the quarterback that could perform in cold weather games. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Green Bay Packers are expected to be a playoff team. We know this. So there's going to be that difficulty to deal with. In the later months, they're probably going to be, jockeying for a playoff spot, so they're going to be playing even tougher. But cold weather game in the heart of December at Lambeau Field. Why not?
Yeah.
And then your last game is at New England. In January, that's rough. But also Buffalo in November can get rough.
Yeah.
So and Denver in December, like those are games where you're really gonna have to show up and out. I will say they've not really got too many double road games. Week 1 and 2 are double road, and then 10 and 11 are double road. So that's another positive to take away.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean,
what's their mileage situation?
No. Without
they are. I want to say they were. Let me look that up. I think they're one of the worst. Again, thank you, NFL. Let me see.
It's hard when you're down there, all the way down there.
It's all right. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna.
You'll be flying all over the place. Yeah, I mean, week 1 all the way over to, but then you go Las Vegas to San Francisco, which is obviously.
Oh yeah, they are the sixth highest, 27,568 miles traveled for their opponents. They're going all over the place. I mean, even to start the season, those first 2 games, regardless of the fact that you're playing against the Raiders, that everybody doesn't know what they're going to be. You're on the road for the first 2 weeks on the West Coast. That's going to be tough to deal with, regardless too. No home game until week 3. Like I said, it's just not a great schedule for them by any means. Like none of this is good. Like there's no part of this entire schedule that you can go, oh, that's
I'm trying.
Three of their first 4 games are away. That's insane. That's insane. And then their first
and they're not just away, they're like on the other side of the country.
Yeah. And
it's not funny.
It's not.
It's crazy. Yeah, and then and then 2 on the road against the Colts, on the road against Buffalo, week 10 and 11. Like, come on, man. And then, I mean, I guess you could say, hey, they're going to be at home for 2 weeks at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But it's against the
Yay.
and the Bills.
Yay. Yeah, man, it's rough, but I'll say this too. It's something that we've talked about. If the Dolphins can really truly emerge as a team that wins 7 games, 6, 7, maybe 8 games, maybe clear skies ahead. If Malik, the whole point, this is like a tryout season, if you will, for the Dolphins right now, because they're a young team, like you just brought up, Buddy. They're now the youngest roster in the league. So that comes twofold. Obviously, they're a young team. Great. You're building to the draft. That was the whole point. But 2, you have a lot of inexperienced players on the roster now. So you don't know how these players are going to meld together, perform together, all that good stuff. So there's that. You got a new head coach in Jeff Hafley. You don't know, and first-time NFL head coach. He was a head coach at Boston College, but he hasn't done so in the NFL. So you don't quite know what Jeff Hafley's going to be. You have that going on. You have a quarterback that has 6 starts in the NFL in Malik Willis. There's a lot of belief, but
so does LA. Not even in the NFL.
Yeah. So, I mean, Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But with all of that, if you can see if they can scratch out some decent wins, then you look at 2027, your third highest cap space. You have a team full of draft picks that came, rookies in 2026. If out of those 13 players, 5 or 6 are starters, pretty good odds. It may take the other ones a year or two to really get going. This team could build sustained success, and that's kind of what the whole point of the rebuild was, or whatever they want to call it, because they keep saying they don't want to call it a rebuild or reset, whatever. I don't know. Whatever it is. Speed rebuild, I don't care. But if they're more competitive than expected, there you go.
Yeah. I said this weeks ago. I said this is a year where there's a lot to lose, but a lot to gain from having lost a lot. Like you get what a great spot in the draft, and you can think about maybe if you want Malik Willis to stick around. I don't think it's really going to be fair to judge him based off of this season, but with that quarterback class looking good in 2027, that may be something that you want to, capitalize off of. So that puts you in a good spot to have that. Yeah, but then if you can show up and out and you do get to the end of the season, you have just scraped out a bunch of really good wins, and not just like by the skin of your teeth, like good looking wins, then like that you've got something going on, and what you've done already is kind of you've built a good ground to like build off of for the future. So it may look rough, but no one really expected the Dolphins to come and show up and out this year. I do just wish that they'd at least given them a little bit more room to kind of grow and flourish, because I think that this is really, but saying that, like, this young team is going to cut their teeth massively against all of it. Like, they're going to show what they're made of.
Yeah.
And I think that even just showing up and playing every week and giving your all and doing the best you possibly can against this team is going to be enough to kind of prove it. So, they're going to be super resilient by the end of this season, at least.
Yeah, and as we brought up previously too, the other benefit of having these young players and rebuilding through the draft, and John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley keeping their word through and through, is instead they have the benefit of all these rookie players that are gonna get some playing time, because a lot of times you bring in these rookie players and they're down the depth chart, third, fourth position, maybe for whatever the respective position is, and they don't take the field at all in year one, or they barely do on special teams, or whatever the case may be. So, as you just said, Billy, we get to see what these rookie players will be and how they perform faster than all the other teams, because the Dolphins have to do that. Their roster is so torn down, you have to start several players in multiple positions. So, you got your Jacob Rodriguez, you got your Caleb Douglas, hopefully Chris Bell, if he recovers from his ACL tear in time to take the field. You have an opportunity to see these players on the field immediately. Will Caden Proctor really be that oversized guard that's going to help Devon Achane explode even more? We already know what Devon Achane is. We already know Devon Achane is a Pro Bowl, All-Pro level running back. Maybe he's going to get 2K yards, from scrimmage in 2026. This will be the perfect time to see and do that. So you're absolutely right. This schedule, the way that it's orchestrated, the fact that you're a young team, you're getting thrown into the literal fire of the NFL in your first year. Now it's going to be, how do you respond to that? How does a team respond to adversity? Even when things were not going well under Mike McDaniel, to his credit, all of the players played their hearts out to the very bitter end, no matter what. If nothing else that anybody can talk about with Mike McDaniel, the players loved Mike McDaniel, and they would have ran through a wall for Mike McDaniel. And it just seems to me, from all the videos and all the pressers and everything going on, it's even more so the case for Jeff Hafley. Everyone is buying into what Jeff Hafley is selling. He's been, again, a very direct guy, and that's the benefit of what's going on with the organization. And John Eric Sullivan too. They have not minced words. They have not said a lot of bull. They've just been like, here's what we're going to do. And they've done that to a T. So now, okay, how does this team respond? What does this team look like under a clear-cut direction with no drama of like, they're being called soft by former players, Mike McDaniel is being called soft as a coach, yada, yada. Yeah. All that's now dead and gone. You can just shake that off. This is a brand new regime, brand new front office, brand new coaching staff, brand new team practically. So how do you look? What do you look like? How do you look? How do you respond?
Yeah, and this will sure show how they're going to respond.
No, yeah, no. This is like what Billy said earlier. This is a win-win for the Dolphins because if they are bad, which many expect them to be, guess what? There's projected to be a really good quarterback class in 2027. So at worst, maybe they'll have a top 3 pick, right? Let's just say that. I believe right now maybe top 2 picks are for sure quarterbacks, maybe the third, right? So I mean that would be really great for Miami finding their franchise quarterback, and then guess what? If they're good and they exceed expectations, then that means that the Dolphins front office is doing something really good. I mean, and if that's the case, that's because of the rookies we just talked about. They're going to show up and show out, right? Because that's who they have no other. That's who's going to be playing because they have no other choice, right? So, there's it's certainly a win-win. If the Dolphins land and they hit their players, that's really good. And if they need to go back to the drawing board in 2027, that's fine too, because that's what many expect them to do anyway. And like we talked about, like James, like you brought up, they have a lot of money to spend in 2027. So, there's a lot to hang their hat on regardless of what happens. But the schedule's out now, and we're gonna see what exactly they're gonna need to address. Regardless of whether they exceed expectations or if they meet many expectations.
Also, too, real quick, good point that you brought up too. Oh my God, I almost choked over here. The rookies are playing almost literally the best of the best in the league in terms of teams. Yep. You have that tough schedule. Okay, these are the teams that are going to probably be those playoff teams for multiple years in a row. Now you know what you're up against. How do you perform, or what do you look like against these teams?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it's a rough schedule. It's going to be there's going to be tough sledding for the Dolphins. Everybody already understands this. Everybody's already kind of believing that. But again, I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it. I'm a believer simply because of Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan and what they've said and what they've done thus far. 13 players drafted. That's the second highest in organization history. The most was in 1997. They drafted 14 players, which included Hall of Famer Jason Taylor. Let's go, Jason Taylor. But now 13 chances to really get impact players. You don't know of those 13 who are really going to be the guys. It could be, obviously, there's a lot of hope for Caden Proctor and Caden Proctor and Jacob Rodriguez and Caleb Douglas, but there's those later round draft picks too. Will Kazmarek, the blocking tight end, that's supposed to be the best blocking tight end. Obviously, they're going to be copying the Rams probably and maybe do some like 13 personnel and get that run game going. We don't know exactly what they're going to be doing. This is all new. Bobby Slowick is a new offensive coordinator. Sean Duggan's a new defensive coordinator. Jeff Hafley's a new head coach. There's a lot of exciting pieces in here to look at and to examine. So it's going to make our jobs a lot more fun this season. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And especially if they exceed expectations.
Yeah, and I hope they do. I would love to see that for them.
Yeah, no, it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you guys both brought up, like I brought up, it's a win-win if you see progress. If you see, regardless that they win games, if they win any games, it's progress. But even more so, look at the losses. Are the losses like blowouts? Are they right there?
Putting up a fight?
Are they putting up a fight? Which again, to Mike McDaniel's credit, the Dolphins fought every single game. You could see it on the field in 2025. Yeah. So I feel they're going to be doing the same exact thing for Jeff Hafley. So we'll see. The schedule is not doing them any favors whatsoever, and maybe it's better that way. Maybe you're
not fluking it at least.
Yeah, maybe it's
People
better.
People can't take that away from you if you win against those teams.
No, exactly. If they beat majority of those teams, we were like, hey man, look at the Dolphins, and so again, that could lead to some flexed time games towards the end of the season. We don't know, maybe not, but I mean, they're going to be out there, they're going to be doing their thing, and we'll see.
We will see. There's nothing better to light a fire under someone than saying, everyone expects you to lose. Yes. That's a great fire to have underneath you.
That's very true.
Yeah, and Jeff Hafley said, like, he was asked what's the motto of the team. He's like, I don't know. I don't even know what our identity is yet. And so they're going to find out. They're going to find out in training camp.
Real quick.
Yeah, they're going to find out in training camp and preseason. They're going to find out real quick to start their season. They're going to have a motto real fast because, again, no schedule breaks for them whatsoever.
Nope.
All right. Well, that was a whole lot, but we'll see what happens. This has been Roundtable Dolphins episode number 21, I believe I said. We will be back in a couple of weeks. I am going on vacation, so this podcast will be on hiatus for a little bit. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening.